Okay, yeah, we are on the air. Um, Today we're talking about Way Down Dark by J.P. Smith. It is pronounced Smith, isn't it?
I
I
think
thought it was Smythe, but it's probably
Smythe.
Smith.
I said
Smythe Smith
It's probably
by
Smith.
J.P. We'll call him J.P.
his name
um,
James or something like that.
I don't
All
remember.
right, that was stupid. Go on. Sorry.
So to begin with, we'll start with what was your initial response to the book and what rating would you give it out of 5?
Go ahead, Lily.
I was gonna say you can go ahead. I liked it. I wasn't a fan of the writing, but I liked the characters, and I gave it a 3 out of 5 on Goodreads. I think I liked it overall.
Hmm.
Go ahead.
Well, unfortunately, I didn't like it at all, almost. But the one thing that really threw me off was that the writing. I didn't really like the writing style, and I felt like he could have like gave more depth to his characters, or I guess in some sense, like they were still good characters, but I don't know. It didn't like really fit with me for some reason. And I think I gave it like a 1.5 or something like that on Goodreads, but
Oh, wow, very low. Um,
yeah, bad.
so for me, I'm kind of, I don't really know. I was sort of at a 3.5 maybe, because uh, I really enjoyed reading it, but looking back, I think I've said this for most of the chats, but I always really enjoy reading it, but looking back, there wasn't anything that really, really stood out, which I think you need in a book to make it a long-lasting favourite.
Mhm.
So yeah, I would give it 3.5, maybe 4, maybe 3.75. We'll go with that. So my questions are all kind of chronological, so we'll start at the start. What did you think of the very dramatic start with the epilogue on how the Earth was destroyed and Chan killing her mother? They can start.
I was like, I was like appalled for a second. Like, I mean, like the fact that he had to kill her mom was kind of intense. But what threw me off is, I swear, for the first 20 pages, I thought like Chan was a boy, even though I know that they said like whatever his or her mom's name's daughter or whatever they called her that, but I still felt like she was a boy for some odd, bizarre reason. So I don't know why. So now I picture her as like a boy in my head, but. I thought it was like pretty crazy that she had to like kill her mom to in order to almost like establish this dominance within the like pack of people or whatever. So it was pretty crazy. Kind of like it was like a jump start almost for the book. So yeah.
Yeah, I liked the beginning because like sometimes I find it hard to get into books and because I guess it kind of throws you in and it definitely set the tone because
Mhm.
it's very dark the book. So I guess I was like shocked, slightly appalled as well, but I was also kind of like this is evidently the kind of
Sorry.
place. It's fine. I was like, this is evidently the kind of place she lives in. I liked how they like did explain it in like a prologue because sometimes I feel like when I just get thrown into a book and I have no idea what's going on, it's happened a lot recently and I'm just a bit confused. And so I liked that there is like a setup to it, so you're not like left like what's going on.
Mm, okay. I kind of agree with both of you. I liked the fact that you're giving some background because I don't like sort of being thrown straight into the action without being told
What's going
why, and what's going on. So I quite liked it, and it did sort of set up the rest of the book. So I liked it in that sense. So you've both mentioned how you weren't particularly fond of the writing style. So why is that, do you think?
Um, I think I remember as I got into it, it didn't phase me as much. But I do remember at the beginning of the book, there was this bit when like the same phrase got repeated in like
on?
the 3 sentences like over and over again, and I was just like I don't know, it just felt unnecessary or like a bit too repetitive. I
Hmm.
Yeah.
remember that specifically as a specific example.
For like I felt like it was really almost I the way like to describe it I guess is almost like robotic. Like I felt like it was just like one, two, like three, not really like flowing almost to me. and I felt like, I don't know, it was just, what really throws me off with books is like these page-long paragraphs that I absolutely hate. Like for some reason, I just can't read them. Like, have you guys read Glass Sword yet? Or
No.
anything like that?
Mm,
There's
no.
like super huge long paragraphs, and I just died. I can't read those things, and I know it's like they're probably super important and they're like really good for the story and stuff, but some reason it just really throws me off. So there was like a lot of those that I was kind of like, okay, come on, let's like break it up a little bit, and like so you can like almost just explain it more within multiple paragraphs than one huge long one. But that's just like a stupid pet peeve that I have, and I don't know. I felt like the author didn't really give much, I don't know, much like purpose, I guess, within the writing almost. I don't know. It just like kind of like threw me off. But was I thought it was funny is he's a creative writing teacher. I think that's what I read in his like what he's about. So I was like, dude, really? I don't know. But it just wasn't the type of style or structure that I like to read. But yeah.
Mm. Okay. I'm sort of the same with the pet peeve of having really long paragraphs. Like, I remember when I was reading it, it was chapter 4, and I looked down at the page number, and it was like 80 something. And I'm like, how is this chapter 4? This should be like, maybe 10. That would be a good like length for me. But
Long chapters really annoy me. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just like, it just seems like the book drags a lot. Like when there's really long chapters, I'm just like, break it up a little bit, please. Like,
And
yeah.
it's like a good stopping point too when it breaks between chapters. So you're like, okay, I can go to bed now, you know. But,
yeah, I'll always be like, oh, I can read one more chapter, but when the chapter's like 50 pages long, I'm like, what?
But yeah, and I think my issue was the writing style. I'm not really sure it was an issue, but I found it kind of simple. I think it kind of same with it didn't have much like depth or purpose. I think that's because it was quite simple. But for me, I kind of saw that as a positive, as it let you kind of focus more on the action and the sci-fi, which are themes I don't really usually read. And so, as I don't read these genres very often, it kind of made it easier for me to get into them personally. Because if it was like super heavy with like computer jargon and whatnot, I would probably just explode. And so for me, I liked that, but I do think it was kind of simple in how it went about everything. And I also thought Chan was a boy for the first like chapter or so. I didn't realize.
why? It was weird because I don't. Maybe it was like because she had like a unisex name almost, but I was like, whoa, she's a girl. I didn't know that. So.
I didn't know that. I think I read it on the back, but then I don't know.
It says it's a girl on the back.
I think so. I don't know. I think I just assumed it was a girl. Maybe I just read so many protagonists with girls that I'm just like, I just assume everyone's a girl now until otherwise.
It doesn't say anything on the back. It just has her name. I think the way I found it was I couldn't figure out whether she was a girl or a boy, and so I just had to like look until I found the word
She.
she. Yeah, that's how I did it. But I think I presumed it was a guy because it was a male author, and
Yeah.
so I just thought male author, male character.
I was surprised that, like, I guess I don't know why I was surprised, but I was surprised by how many female characters were in it, considering it is a male author. Like, I was surprised that most of the main characters were female. Does that make sense? I don't know why I was surprised. It just was.
Yeah.
There's that Rex girl, or the girl who killed Rex or whatever, and then the Agatha lady, and then the other girl that like betrayed them. Spoiler alert. And all those, yeah. I thought that was interesting too. There's a lot more female. There's like only that Jonah guy. Maybe
Yeah. Okay, my next question is, what did you think of the Agatha point of view chapters, and like, did you think they added anything? Because personally, I didn't really see much point in them, but that's personal.
Yeah, I didn't really see much point in them either. They're almost like, they like reminded me of like dreams almost, and I hate dreams. I hate reading about dreams for some reason. I don't know why, but I'm a weird reader. But they reminded me of those, so I was kind of like, okay. But I kind of gave you more of a sense of who his or her mom was, which I thought was kind of interesting. How she was kind of this rebellious, rambunctious kid, and how she met her mom, her dad or whatever. I thought that was kind of interesting, but I
Mm.
don't know. They could have gotten that without the long, dragging story tale kind of thing. So
I
Mm.
liked I liked them. At the time I remember liking them because I just felt they broke up what I was reading a little bit. Like it was just something a bit different from like the long chapters. Um, and I do think yeah, it added like backstory and everything. But like on reflection, I'm kind of like I don't know if it added as much as I felt like it did at the time. Does that make sense?
Mm. Yeah, I couldn't see much point in them except for the one when you do find out about her dad, because that has to do with the plot itself. The
Yeah.
others were a bit kind of just a bit of a story, which was what they're meant to be, but they just felt a bit obscure, I thought.
Yeah, felt like it detracted away from the plot a little bit.
Mm. So as this book is like a sort of mixture of sci-fi and action, I think those would be the two most prominent genres within the book. Did you think that they were done well? And is it something you'd normally read? Because I thought it was quite obscure. As I said, I don't read sci-fi or action very often.
I read sci-fi and action like all the time. Like that's like dystopian is like my main genre I read besides historical fiction. But action. So I thought the action part was pretty cool. I liked the brutality of it. How like they had, like the death and the dying and the killing and all that stuff. Like I shouldn't love that, but I do in books, and I think adds.
I liked it too. I liked it too.
Me
Yeah,
too.
yeah. I thought it was in that aspect. The concept was so interesting. That's what I liked most about it is like the whole concept of it. I just didn't think he conveyed it correctly, almost for my liking. But I liked how they were on a prison, like it's a prison, not like a lifestyle. They didn't know about the earth and stuff, and then yeah, it was pretty crazy. And like wading through all the dead bodies down there was really gross.
Mm.
Really like interesting and cool, I guess. So yeah, I liked that part of it.
I haven't. I think I used to read a lot of more books like this, like a couple years ago, and then I've kind of been reading a lot more. I don't know, like contemporary historical fiction, and then this is like going back a bit, but like you said, I liked how brutal it was because I don't know, it felt like a nice change. I felt like I've read a few fantasy dystopian books and they've kind of skimmed over it,
Yeah.
and sometimes I'm like, I don't know if that's always believable when they skim over it. So this one I felt like was very like realistic and like just very gritty, and I liked that about it.
Yeah, and they focused on that too, that um, awful brutality of it almost. I liked how it was kind of focused on that. Because you usually get, like you said, people just like kind of like shy away from it usually, so I thought it was interesting.
Mm. I definitely agree with both of you. I enjoyed the brutality, which is it does sound weird to say, but it isn't something you get in many YA books. And also I liked the way that the brutality also reflected on the characters and like the different ways that they sort of responded to it. So like Chan always being like ready to fight even though she's in pain, she's just going to keep going. Jonah also the same, but kind of having a lot more moral to it, like praying after he killed someone, like things like that. I thought were really interesting.
Yeah, and like the fact that Chan couldn't kill somebody, I thought that was kind of interesting. Like she could like stab them, but she like couldn't feel like she could finish the job almost. So that
Mm.
kind of showed a bit of her character and how she could. But I was almost like just stab him, please. Just like finish the job. I'm almost there. He's probably gonna bleed out anyways. So, but anyways.
So my next question is, what did you think of the plot overall, and in particular the plot twists, which kind of coincided with the different parts of the book, like part one, part two? What did you think?
Well, I thought like the plot was interesting. Like the whole concept of it was really cool. I think like how they're on the ship thing and they think it's like their life when really they're just like almost like testing them. I didn't really see that coming, being on like the prison and stuff like that. Nor did I see that girl betraying them for some reason. I just did not see that coming at all. But and I didn't. I mean, I didn't see a lot of it coming. You know, they found like is it called like the pit or something where they went into? Yeah, I didn't. I thought that was cool. Like, there's all this. There was like more to the ship than they first realized, which was interesting. So I liked it.
Yeah, I didn't see any, like, I'm really bad at predicting plot twists. I think I just don't think about it too much, and then I'm just like, oh, surprise, and then later on I'm like, I should have predicted that.
Yeah.
Like, but
And
I just don't do it when I'm reading. So I was really surprised by it. But then it was good because I was surprised, but then when I look back, I was like, no, that makes sense. And with,
Mm.
like, was her name Bess, who betrayed them? I think her name was Bess.
yeah,
Yeah.
so that's that.
Like, it's funny because even she says, like, at one point she's like, oh, she could betray me, but whatever, and then, like, she goes and does it later, and I was like,
That was the warning.
yeah, that was the warning, and, like, and then you go with her, and you're like, oh, yeah, no, she's fine, and then, there you go. But I liked it. I liked the plot twist.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely didn't see the prison thing. I
No.
didn't see that at all. But I thought it was really clever because I kept wondering why the ship was called Australia. Um,
Too.
and I couldn't figure it out. And I just thought that maybe if the Earth had been destroyed, they had like a couple of ships, each named after a different continent, so that when they found somewhere to land, it would be easier to sort of have their own little tribes, I guess. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
so that's what it'll be about. It'll be about them landing and finding out that everyone else is there and there'll be loads of them. Because that was the only thing I could think of as to why it would be called Australia. And so I thought it was really clever how, like, why it is called Australia. I saw the best thing coming, and it was really annoying because I knew it was going to happen, and I was thinking, this is going to happen in a minute. It's going to go wrong. Can you just get it over with, please? Because I know it's going to go wrong. And it did.
Yeah.
But,
You have to have a good like betrayal in YA, I feel like. But I
yeah.
know what you mean.
And there were just little other things that I thought were really clever. So I liked the plot, and I think it was a really interesting premise. And for me, it was done pretty much quite well. But yeah, I liked how the plots and how they had the different parts when you found out the new twist. It kind of helped me like take a moment to kind of go, no way, I did not see that coming.
Yeah.
So we sort of briefly mentioned the characters. What was your sort of thoughts on them, especially Chan, which you've spoken about, and Jonah and Agatha, especially?
Well, I mean, characters weren't my favorite characters of all time, but I feel like Chan could have had more depth to her, but I mean, she went through like hell and back. I feel like, she has a pretty rough life, poor girl. But I felt like she was almost written sort of like bland almost to me. I felt like she could have had more like wit to her or something, or some kind of other personality trait that would have like distinguished her from like the rest of the people. But I liked Jonah. I thought he was like a cool, interesting character. How he had his faith and stuff like that. He was different from more normal people on the ship. And Agatha, I wasn't like a big fan of her. I feel like she's kind of like a pain in the butt sometimes, but I don't know why. But she was all right. So yeah.
I liked Chan. She's not my favorite, but I don't know, I haven't liked some of the main characters in books I've read recently, so I think after them I was like, oh, I kind of like you.
Yeah.
Um, but like, yeah, no, I liked her, but yeah, I think she could have had a bit more depth. But then when I was sort of reading it, I was like, this is only a 200 and just over 250-page book, so I guess there isn't going to be there's not loads of time for it to build up. So maybe the book could have been longer in that sense, just to build up a bit more character depth. But I liked what they did with like her and then her mum, because I feel like in a lot of YA, like one of the main characters' parents has died, and then it kind of just gets ignored and like just brought up at convenient moments, and they kept bringing it up, and I liked that.
Mm.
I liked Jonah as well. I think he was my favorite of them, just because I like you say, he just had his faith in everything, and I liked that. And yeah, Agatha was like, I respected her as a character, but I don't know if I liked her. Like, or, she was like a good character. I liked her, but I don't know. Yeah, I didn't like her.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, when Agatha died, I wasn't really that bothered about it. She felt a bit, I don't know, I just don't think they focus enough on her, despite having, like, chapters from her point of view. I just didn't think there was enough about her and about her reasonings. It was just, I don't know. I didn't particularly get on with that character, but Jonah was definitely my favourite character. And I think that's because he had what Chan lacked, which was that extra aspect of the character, which was his faith. He had so much to him. Both him and Chan kind of had a similar character in the sense that they were both fighters. They both were trying to survive. They didn't have their parents, and so they were like that. But then he had the added thing of his faith, whereas she didn't have anything.
Right.
And so I think that's why I really liked him. And I don't know, I like gingers, I guess. But yeah, which leads me on to the next question quite well. What do you think of the relationship, I don't know whether you can call it a relationship, but either a friendly / romantic relationship between Jonah and Chan?
I think it definitely has a platform to build up to that kind of relationship. I think my prediction for the second book is they're probably going to be like friends, and then maybe like one of them's going to like click, and then the other one's going to be like, oh, maybe I love you too, kind of thing. I don't know, whatever. But I could see something happening between them, and I'd probably be okay with it. So.
I liked their relationship because I'm like a massive fan of slow burn, and it wasn't like they were in a situation where it's like that is not what we're talking about right now. Like they obviously had a relationship, but it was like no, we haven't got time to even think about this. And I was like, that's good, but they still showed that they were obviously growing closer and like had very similar minds and everything, and that maybe when they do have time out, they can, talk about it.
Yeah, I definitely agree there. I do definitely ship them, I guess.
A slow ship, a slow and steady sail. And then...
It's like a slow, steady one. I appreciate that.
That's where they were going, and I hope that, comes canon in the end. That would be lovely. Although it might not happen considering Jonah is missing with that massive cliffhanger that was at the end when it just went all wrong at the end. Well, not go wrong.
He's probably going to die. That's just probably going to
I was thinking that it felt like the tone of the book was so dark that I thought they're going to drag your body out and it's going to be his and it's going to end with it all horrible. May going away. Was it May? Is her name May? Yeah. May would be taken away. She'd get trapped again. Jonah would be dead, and they would just leave on that. I thought that would be happening, and I'm glad he isn't dead yet, or that we know of, because that would be really sad.
Yeah.
It definitely was like a book where I was like, no, Jonah could die, because it was so dark. I was like, even though he's obviously like a main character, I was like, no, that could happen.
Yeah.
So this is we're on this cliffhanger now. What did you think of it when they sort of landed back on Earth in that very short time, and when they fell from space in like a couple of seconds, which was I feel really weird, and that really annoyed me, in the fact that it took like a couple of seconds to get from space to Earth, which I was like, that is not realistic. But yeah, what did you think of the whole thing when they landed with kids being taken away and all that jazz?
Yeah, I thought it was. I mean, that felt realistic. I feel like you're testing spaceship that's up in space, and then it crashes. Or like, oh, we got to get these kids and test them and run through all these tests and blah blah blah. But weren't they kind of surprised that they were still up there or something? Or is it like? Yeah. Am I wrong? I don't remember, but
there was a bit when the guy said, "Oh, they've been up there all that time."
Yeah,
so
yeah.
They might have forgotten.
So it's like they almost forgot about them, poor guys. And so, I think that was interesting, because you don't usually forget about a prison that you put up in space, but sometimes you do. So yeah, I think it's interesting that they came back to Earth. That adds a whole different plot to the next book. So it'll be interesting to see.
I thought it was I thought it was just interesting, when they landed back, and I think Chan made a comment about how, they were all, fighting each other on the ship, and then as soon as they come back to Earth, they all kind of band together in a way, because, now that Earth people are kind of, against them, and I thought that was, realistic and interesting. But, yeah, the kids one was kind of, very like a vivid image, and like I did think it was like very realistic of like them just taking the children away. You
Mm.
know, that resonated with me that a little bit.
So speaking of the sequel, do you think you will read it or not?
Well, I've got like 50 books on my TBR right now. Maybe I'll put it on to make 51, but maybe in the future, because I have to get these books off Book Depository, you know, because like obviously I don't live in the UK, but so maybe I'll order it sometime and then maybe read through it. But I don't know, probably not in the future, but maybe in the distant future. So.
I'm not sure. Like I looked up on Goodreads, and I think it's supposed to come out like next month. I think the
Yeah.
sequel.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's.
So, because it's only coming out next month, and of course it was like a 3-star, I might pick it up because I'm still thinking about it. I think it was like it's one of the things where if it was coming out quite a lot in the future, I don't know if I would, but because it's coming out soon and it is longer. I think it's like 400 pages next one, so I might do.
That's good. Where do you think the story might turn? Do you think it's going to focus on? Do you think Chan did get away in the end? Because we don't know whether she did. Do you think it's going to be about her in England? And do you have any ideas what you would like to see in the next book?
I think Chan's gonna kick everyone's ass.
Pretty much.
Yeah, the scientists are not gonna know what hit them because we got this like super kick-ass fighting people, and they're just gonna be like, "Holy crap!" Yeah, I think stuff's gonna happen definitely. I think Chan's probably gonna get away at some point just because she's that type of person, and she's probably gonna find Jonah, and they're probably gonna get married and have a bunch of kids in the end. No. But I don't know. There's a lot that could happen. Like I have no idea what's gonna happen because he opened up a lot of doors to a lot of different things. So.
Mm-hmm.
I think part of it might focus on her trying to find May again, because I just felt that there was like a strong connection between their characters, and she seemed to really care for her. I'm so bad at predicting like next plot points and plot twists and like what the next book is going to be about. I don't like want to say because whatever I say will not just be some weird thing that will never happen.
Yeah, I'm really bad at them too, and I think I agree in the sense that he's opened like a massive door because they're not on Australia anymore, they're on Earth, so like anything could happen, I guess. But I think I will read it because I kind of feel like I need to read more sci-fi, and this was a good start, so may as well keep going.
You can tell us all about it then.
yeah. I'll, at the end of the next chat or whatever, I'll just be like, oh, by the way, guys, this is what happens.
I think I'll buy it. I think I'll buy it and then I'll see how I feel. Because sometimes I am just in the mood for that like gritty kind of thing, and I don't have a lot of it on my TBR, so I think I'll pick it up and then see how I feel.
Because I read quite a lot of crime books myself. It's nice to have a gritty book that isn't like also really heavy in the plot. I think like this has got a nicer plot, but with all the brutality that's left in, so it's like quite a good balance for me, I'd say. I think we're done. What's the time? Let's have a look. Oh,
11.
Wow. Is it 11 where you are?
Yeah, it is. I have to go
That's so early.
Yeah, no, isn't that weird? Yeah.
Because it's 6 here, so I think we're done. If any of you have anything else about the book that you want to mention, feel free. So I will stop the broadcast then. It'll stay on here, but
Okay.
bye everyone. If
Bye.
YouTube.